Hi everyone, it's your host Rachel here at the Walk the Talk podcast. Welcome to episode number 22. So in this episode, I am going to be speaking about motivation, how to get motivated when you don't feel like it, how to find your motivation, again, maybe after you've lost it, what exactly is motivation, and how can we cultivate it to help us to get towards our goals. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. It's just me today, by myself. I'm going to share some insights with you, things that have worked for me, and hopefully you will find something in there that you can apply to your own life and it will help you to get motivated too. So let's get stuck in. So before I get started on my 5 steps to getting your motivation back, or cultivating motivation, I thought I would start by sort of giving you a bit of background as to why I wanted to record this episode. So for the last couple of weeks, probably 2 to 3 weeks, I have felt like I have lost my motivation for a lot of things. Now, for those of you that know me, you'll know that I struggle a little bit with anxiety and depression, and I had been going through quite a low few weeks, and motivation was at an all-time low, which is really unusual for me because normally even when I am feeling low, I'm still motivated to do the things on a daily basis that I need to get done for my business. But that was gone as well, and I was sort of getting into that, do you know what, fuck this mode. I'm not doing anything, it's not worth it. And I got myself into like a bit of a funk. And it's also something that a lot of people ask me as well. How do you get motivated? How can I get motivated to do what I want to do? And it's often something that comes up when I speak to people, sort of interview people before they become a client of mine. On motivation, to see sort of what gets you fired up and whether or not you are motivated enough to complete the task ahead of you, related to what it is that you want to achieve. So I thought, what better time than now to talk about motivation. And I could tell you a little bit about what gets me motivated, but what I actually wanted to do was give you a bit of a 5-step plan to perhaps actually be able to go away and look at what motivates you and what it is that you truly, truly want to achieve, and give you some steps to help you get to that point. Now, I have done a Facebook Live on this before. It was years and years ago, so some of you might have watched that. You might find that I'm speaking about some of the same things, but if you would like to watch that video as well, then I will link to it in the show notes too. So here is Rachel's 5 simple steps to getting your motivation back. So the first thing on my list is, imagine how you would feel if you actually achieved what it is that you want to achieve. Now, think about something that you want to achieve. It doesn't need to be a weight loss goal. It can be anything. It can be something in your personal life, your work life. Maybe you want to change jobs, whatever it is. Now, I want you to actually visualise what it would feel like if you had already achieved it. So this is what I do. This really helps me a lot. Close your eyes. You don't need to do this right now. Close your eyes and visualise. So almost play a movie in your head and imagine yourself having achieved what it is that you want to achieve. How do you feel? What thoughts are going through your head? How are you speaking to other people? How do you act? What is your body language like? Get excited about it and get excited about how good you will feel once you have achieved this thing that you want to achieve. What fires you up? How does it feel now that you've completed it, now that you've achieved it, you've got the results that you wanted? How does it feel? It's a great exercise. So you close your eyes and actually visualize how good it's going to feel when you get there. Now, I do that as well, but because I like to do, vice versa as well, I think that really helps, is to imagine and visualize what would happen and how you would feel if you didn't get started. So if you didn't make a move and you didn't get started and you didn't achieve what it is that you set out to achieve, the goal that you set out to achieve, how would it feel? And how would you feel if you didn't achieve it? Now, of course, first of all, before you can even do this, you need to know what it is that you want to achieve. So you need to have gone through a goal setting process and understand what it is that you want to achieve, so that you know how good you will feel once you have achieved it. And actually get excited, feel that sort of fire in your belly and those butterflies of excitement when you've achieved something. So think about when you've achieved something in the past, maybe when you pass your driving test. That's a big one for me. Like, that's one of the biggest, the scariest things I've ever done. Driving test. I'm sure those of you out there who have done your driving test will be able to resonate with me. But honestly, like, that feeling of getting a pass and being able to have that freedom of being able to drive around as a 17-year-old was just one of the best feelings ever. I'll never forget how good I felt. So actually, like, visualize that you have achieved what it is that you have set out to achieve. Get excited and really get the feel for how it would feel if you'd achieved it. What would you do with your day? How would you feel? What would you do? How would you think? What thoughts are going through your mind? And really just believe that it will happen, and see how that feels in your head. So that is my number one strategy to get your motivation back. But obviously, first of all, you need to know what it is that you want to achieve and understand if it is really what you want. Okay, number two is about willpower. Stop relying on willpower alone to achieve your goals. Now, again, this is another word that comes up a lot for me when I am interviewing people to become clients, and I ask them what they struggle with the most, and willpower is something that comes up all the time. I don't have the willpower, and I can tell you that you do have the willpower, but first of all, you need to have the will. So do you really want to achieve what it is that you have set out to achieve? Because I can tell you right now that if you want, and this is from personal experience, and I like to think in my 33 years on this planet that I have achieved quite a lot, I can tell you from personal experience that it doesn't matter what it is that you want. If you want it badly enough, you will stop at nothing. You will stop at nothing. But saying that, people often rely on willpower alone when they have big goals in mind. And when that willpower runs out or breaks, you beat yourself up because you think it's your fault. You've relied on willpower and you don't have willpower when you actually do. So I often explain that willpower is a bit like an elastic band. Even if it's a really, really strong elastic band, and everyone's willpower elastic band is a slightly different strength. Elastic bands will only stretch so far before they snap. It doesn't matter how strong they are. Every single one of these elastic bands will snap if they are stretched enough. So we have to think about other things that we can rely on as well as willpower to get us through. So oftentimes, and I work with clients who want to lose weight permanently, as you probably know, a lot of times my clients have their willpower tested a lot during the day. At work, with the kids, husband, wife, lots and lots of stuff needing done through the day, and then don't understand why they can't control their emotional eating when it comes to the nighttime. And that is because it's not because you don't have willpower, it's because it's been stretched so thin during the day that by the time you get home, there's none left. That elastic band snaps. So simply by relying on willpower alone, it's not enough. There needs to be other measures in place and other preparations to take so that when willpower is pushed to its limit, that you don't snap. So willpower is not enough on its own. We need to have plans and preparation in place for when times that willpower is not there. So hopefully the next 3 steps will help with that as well. So if you think that willpower is your big problem, then have a think about it. It's not, you shouldn't be beating yourself up when your willpower snaps and breaks, because that's normal. We can't rely on that on its own to help us to make progress. Okay, so my third motivation tip, and this is one that I really like, is to tell people what you're going to achieve. And there are many ways that you can do this, but basically having someone or a group of people to hold you accountable for your journey to your goal. Doing it on your own is quite a lonely place, and not having support can be one of the main things that causes people to fall off the wagon with weight loss and any goal really. But going it alone is hard, and it's much harder than having support, whether that be from a friend, a family member, a work colleague, or even someone virtually on the internet. That's why I created a free Facebook group. If you're not a member of that yet, it's called How to Quit Yo-Yo Dieting. Just put a search in the Facebook bar and you'll be able to find that group there. That's why I created that group, actually, because it gives people the opportunity to buddy up with someone for accountability and just get a bit of support when you're struggling. So find a friend, family member, workmate, someone that can hold you accountable and actually tell them what it is that you're going to achieve, because simply by putting it out there and saying, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to achieve, it gives you that accountability. Okay, it's out there now. It's a scary thing to do. It is a scary thing to do. I've recently made some massive decisions that are going to affect my life for the next 2 years at least. And when I was telling people once I had done it, I actually only really told people once I had done it. And the reason for that is because I was scared in case I didn't do it. I was a bit scared, I'm going to tell people that I'm doing this, and then what if I don't do it? I'll look like a failure, it'll be embarrassing. But I did that the wrong way around. I honestly cannot recommend enough how important it is to have accountability. So either friends, someone someone that might even want to do this with you, whatever this is. And secondly, record your journey. So there are many ways that you can do this now, and this will help to hold you accountable as well by recording your journey. So social media is a great place for this nowadays. So things like Instagram, posting photographs and posts to hold you accountable. What are you doing today to get you towards that goal? Even if no one is following you or interacting with you, it gives you that sort of accountability. Right, okay, I need to do this today. I need to post my update post to hold myself accountable. So just to recap on number 3, tell people what you're going to achieve and record your journey. So there you go. That's my third tip. Number 4, find someone who has already achieved what you want to achieve and copy them. Okay, don't plagiarise if your goal is to write a book or write an article or get published. But if you have body goals, hashtag body goals. If you have body goals, weight loss goals, fat loss goals, strength goals, these kind of things, find someone who's already done what you want to do and study them. I was going to use the word stalk them there, but let's go with the word study. Study them, read their story, find out about them. What are their habits? What do they do every day? And copy their habits, because they've already achieved what you want to achieve. Someone to look up to is really, really important to me. I don't know if it's just my personality, but when I look back at the things that I've achieved in my life, business wise, personal wise, I've always had an idol or someone to look up to that I've thought, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. And this person already has this, or they are in the middle of achieving it. How can I have a bit of what they have? How can I model myself in a way that they have, that will help me to get there? I find this really, really, really important. Some people might not think this is a great idea. That's totally fine. But I've always had someone that inspires me. And don't be scared to tell this person that they inspire you, because chances are they might be able to offer advice to you as well to help you to get to that place where you want to be. It's a scary thing to put yourself out there and go, do you know what? Hey, I really like what you do. You really inspire me, and I just want you to know that you are the reason. No, I'm kidding on. That you inspire me, and if you have any tips or advice for me, then I'd really love to hear it. And don't be scared to put yourself out there and say, you inspire me. Read their story, find out what it is that they do, how did they get to where they want to be, and just use them for a bit of inspiration. There's no shame in that, bitches. Alright, last one. I actually might have a bonus one as well, but this is number 5. Set small and manageable goals with your big goal in mind. So this is something I see all the time. Let's talk about losing weight, because that's, Walk the Talk Life runs weight loss courses. So let's talk about losing weight. Everyone goes in with the big goal in mind. Right, I'm starting tomorrow and I'm going to lose 10 kilos. I want to be a size 10. And then the next day it seems so insurmountable that we just give up. Like, what is the point? You wake up the next day and you've not lost any weight and you think, fuck this. What is the point? So yes, have a big goal in mind. We talk about this in Transform 21, one of my online courses. Have a big goal in mind. That's absolutely fine. But we've got to break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks, not even just physically more manageable, but more manageable for your head as well, to get your head around it. Because if you can start to celebrate the smaller goals, then the chances of you being more successful in achieving that bigger goal are much higher. So have your big goal in mind. It's always there. Maybe it's a good idea to write it down. Give yourself a deadline. And then break it down into smaller deadlines and smaller bits so that they seem a bit more surmountable. Okay, bonus tip time. This goes back to actually setting your goal and thinking about what it is that you really want to achieve. Are your goals your own? Do you really, really want to achieve what this thing is that you've said that you want to achieve? Is that your own goal, or is it someone else's? So if you're striving towards something for the benefit of someone else, motivation is going to be lacking big time, because it's not something that you actually want. So think about it. Is the goal that you have set yourself, is it something that you really want? Or is this goal that you have someone else's? I know, it's a big one. Something to think about, because I spent a long time, striving to achieve a body that ultimately I didn't want, because I thought I had to look a certain way to be happy. And you have to think, like, is this really what I want? or is my goal slightly different? I thought I wanted to be, that ripped Instagram worthy picture, 6-pack bullshit. And I made myself ill trying to achieve it. And that's not really what I wanted to achieve. Actually, what I personally wanted to achieve, I want to feel comfortable in my clothes. Honestly, that is my goal. I want to feel comfortable when I put my clothes on in the morning. I want to feel confident, comfortable, and walk out that door thinking, all right, here I am, check me out. So, that's just an example, but have a think about it. Is that goal what you really want? Or perhaps you need to have a think about it and, change the tangent a little bit. Again, it's up to you. Just want to put that out there. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this little episode of me ranting on about motivation. I hope it's been helpful for you. If you have found it helpful, I'd really appreciate if you could leave me a little review on iTunes. If you're on an iPhone right now, just scroll down to the bottom and just tap that wee 5 stars, put a wee comment in. Rachel's great. Write whatever you want. But I'd really appreciate it. It only takes 2 minutes, and it would really help my wee podcast to get out there into the big wide podcast world. Really appreciate it. So if you are struggling for motivation and you would like to get some more help, I have the new Transform 21 programme that has just started this week, so you just missed out on the March cohort. But the April group is going to be open for bookings in a couple of weeks, and there is now a waiting list for that. So just hit www.transform21.co.uk and you can get on the waiting list there, and you'll be the first to know when the next group opens for bookings. Second thing is, if you are looking for some accountability and you would like some motivation and help from other people that are feeling the same as you, then don't forget you can join the Facebook group. I'll put the link in the comments in the show notes here for you, so you can join my Facebook community. It's totally free. There's loads of stuff going on in there. Loads of help and motivation there if you need it. You can discuss your goals and things. Love to hear from you. Otherwise, I hope you have a great weekend. If you listen to this, it's been published on Saturday morning. Have a great weekend, whatever you're up to, and I will speak to you soon.